Welcome back to the shop. So finally, the video I've been waiting to show you guys forever, getting your house in order or getting your shop in order. So I haven't been doing a lot of stuff on the channel as far as, creating different things because, well, I've been sick with the plague for a week or I guess going on a week or so now. But also we've been working really hard in getting our house in order. That means what are our preparations, dealing with food storage, dealing with fuel storage, with tools and all those things. I'm really happy. I'm excited to show you. We have the south and the east wall in the big shop already done. So a lot of folks have asked about doing a shop tour, talking a little bit about fuel storage and that sort of thing. So we'll just start over there and we'll just do the whole thing, talk about my philosophy, what I'm keeping, what I'm not keeping. To be honest with you guys, I probably got rid of 60% of the stuff I had in here, and it feels so good. So let's jump into it. This here's the north wall, and of course there's a double barrel wood stove in here. It doesn't heat the shop because it's a pole barn and everything is so porous. But I like to burn a lot of our paper and cardboard and things. That way you don't have so much stuff you got to haul off to the dump. And it's kind of nice to have a fire in here, even when it doesn't heat the whole place. If you got a little project or you're working on your car, changing oil, you can get close to it. And just having that warmth factor is kind of nice. So I moved the shop cabinet over here. And this cabinet right here is, ouch, reserved for ripping my thumbnail off, is for consumables. And everything's organized now. So I've got, chemicals, paint thinners, and different things in there. My Teflon tape. This will be like fiber blades for the cutoff saws, sandpapers, Loctites, brushes, grinding wheels, all those things, vacuum bags. This one right here is all reserved for safety equipment. So there's earplugs and safety goggles, respirators, everything handy. When everything's handy, you're more likely to use it. On the east wall, I've got this shelving that was here when we bought the place. It's one of those things that it's not very nice shelving or bench top, but it's too good to tear down, because it is useful. So what I've got over here is this is the battery station. So if you pull your batteries out in the wintertime and put trickle chargers on them, your batteries will last forever. It's when they run down that they go bad. A lot of guys will just buy a new battery every year for their lawnmower. There's just no need to. If you just take a minute and take it out, it'll go a long ways. Here we have a toolbox. This is a brown toolbox here that has a duplicate set of a full set of metric and standard tools. So if I need to go help someone or I'm going to go cross country or something, I don't want to have to go through all my main tools on my toolbox and pour them into a box. That one's a grab and go, ready to go, a complete duplicate set. So there's really not a lot of stuff right there. What I found, and I kept organizing and moving and cleaning, and I just didn't seem to be able to get the handle on the shop. And what I found was that I didn't realize that there are seasons in your life for different things, and then those seasons, they come and they go. Perfect example, I had 16 jack stands. Why do I have 16 jack stands? Well, I had a Jeep business back in the day, and I needed a lot of jack stands because we would have multiple Jeeps up on jacks when we were disassembling and those things. But I'm not in that phase of my life anymore. I don't need that anymore. And you can get bogged down by thinking, because you remember what you paid for that stuff, especially if you bought something or had to buy something for your business when you didn't have a lot of money, and you just remember that it was just blood money, how hard that was. And I kept falling into that trap, and I just knew how important that was to me back at the time, but it's not important to me anymore, and a guy doesn't need 16 jack stands. But I've got a lot of neighbors that do need jack stands, and Brian and such. So I picked out my 4 best ones, and I got rid of all the other ones. And it's just so liberating. It was hard to do, to see them go out the door, because they're perfectly fine jack stands, but how many jack stands does a guy need, right? So if you find that you're hanging on to stuff from a previous season in your life, or maybe there was a hobby that you were really into and you acquired all this stuff and maybe it was expensive, just let it go. If you ask yourself the honest question, am I really going to be doing that anymore? Is that something that is just a thing in the past? Well, let it go. Move that stuff on to someone that could use it. It's easier to get rid of it when someone's going to be enjoying it. So let's move on to the fuel and oil storage. So this here is all diesel. This is all non-ethanol gas. The interesting thing right here, I told you about Granddad's old cans and I was replacing them. Well, the ones that came from World War II, those have not failed. it was all the ones that were the cheapo copies, you know, from like the 70s, 80s, and 90s that all fell apart. But the original ones, I still have 3 of them. They're still trucking. So I cleaned them back out and put them in, pressed them back into service for unleaded gas. So we got 50 gallons here of diesel. Got basically 50 gallons of non-ethanol gas here. We've got the 10 gallons for the mix. I've got 10 gallons of kerosene for lamps. More on that later. I've got another 10 gallons right here of mix for the motorcycles. We got the 2 generators. That's just a pressure washer, but the Honda 2000, which is what I'll typically use to keep the freezers going, because we have big commercial or big stainless steel industrial freezer. We have a whole cow in there. We buy the whole cow at a time. We have some friends down the road that run cattle, and we just buy it from them. So we want to protect that, right? So that generator alone can just sip fuel. It can just idle along and run. We kept our freezers going for 8 days when we first moved here. The power was out for over a week. And then I've got the bigger one there that will plug directly into the house and run 10 circuits set aside there. So important things. So we can run the well pump. We can run the hot water heater. So we can have showers and normal water, flush toilets and all that thing, and then circuits set aside for like the main bathroom, the kitchen, and the bedrooms. So we don't have to power the whole house. It's only 5,000, but it will power those things no problem. Over here we have, that's all automotive. So you've got greases and oils and brake fluids and antifreeze. You know, basically it's like a small store right there. And you can quickly see it now, so I can verify quickly, hey, I need to stock up on transmission fluid or on brake fluid. I can quickly see it, and everything's there nice and tidy. Nozzles and stuff there for the gas cans. This over here is more maintenance stuff for the cars. This is a lot of car cleaning, motorcycle cleaning stuff. So you got your sprays and detergents and stuff. This is all freshwater storage right here. So these are the wavy and plastic cans. So there's 6 of those. These are 22 liters, and then the regular 5-gallon ones. I don't keep water in them because they'll freeze up here because it's not heated, obviously. But we have so much water with this multiple springs on the property. If we needed to fill them up, we could take them down there with a tractor, wheelbarrow, whatever, fill them up, bring them up to the house. Thanks for watching. Keep us in your prayers, and may God bless you and your families.